And Jalen Hurts was limited at Wednesday's practice. He is dealing with the knee injury that he suffered against the Rams, twisted his knee. There clearly is something wrong. It's not going to prevent him from playing. He's going to be out there in Sunday's NFC Championship game against the Commanders. Saquon Barkley said yesterday that he expects Jalen Hurts to be Jalen Hurts, but I think everybody else is wondering, is he really going to be at full strength, or is he going to be limited in any type of way? And that may be one of the main issues that decides who wins the NFC Championship and who goes to Super Bowl 59.
Does it, Dan? Does that issue, the health of Jalen Hurts, how able he is to do all the things that he generally does, the RPO, and all that offensive game that he's such a big part of, will that decide who wins the game on Sunday?
It will have a huge impact. It keeps Washington very much so more in the game. This is the one game when Jalen went out of the last time they played, that football game, it's the one game that this offensive line in many ways has been physically dominated. This Washington front, Saquon Barkley is the running back who had the most yards before contact this year. When Jalen went out of this game, it was the opposite. This defensive line decided, we're going to tee off. We're going to get in the backfield. We're going to make Saquon stop his feet 3 or 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. There was no worry about quarterback run. There was no worry about the zone read and the potential to pull it. They were singularly focused on going to get Saquon Barkley and getting penetration. No one has done that to this offensive line better than the Washington Commander defensive line and linebackers did in this game. If Jalen Hurts is significantly hindered or impacted with their ability, I would fully expect a similar performance by Washington's defensive front.
You have to force the issue. If you're Dan Quinn and defensive coordinator Joe Witt Jr., force the issue. You have to make Jalen Hurts prove to you that he's healthy enough to carry that football.
So explain exactly what that means for the fans who are listening. What should they be looking for?
When it comes to that zone read, hey, I'm not even worried about Hurts to start off the game. I'm not worried about Saquon Barkley. I'm going to attack Saquon and make Hurts keep the football and run the football and show me that he's healthy.
Meaning, and then you either see that he won't or that he can't.
Yep. And if he's hobbled a little bit, if he's, not himself, if he's not full speed running the football like he is right here, then you take your chances attacking Saquon.
And to Harry's point, what you see is when you give for the defense, you can determine where the ball goes. So you're telling your guys, hey, when he gets into that posture and you see he's going to be in the shotgun, Saquon Barkley's going to be standing next to him. When he puts the ball out, Saquon is coming. When this guy, the defensive end, crashes down on Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts still hands him the ball, then you get to the side and you say, you know what? He doesn't want to keep it. I think as we're talking about that last game, and Dan brought up so beautifully of what they did in that second half to shut down the run, the amazing thing is, the Eagles were a Devontae Smith drop away from still winning that football game. So it's not as if they were completely shut down. And that's with Kenny Pickett in the game making throws. So this is an Eagles team that you said the last hour, they're better in probably every facet other than the Jaden Daniels aspect of it that I believe should still win this football game.
But this is also a different Commanders team right now.
That's a good point.
This is a Commanders team that has gathered momentum during the postseason. This is a Commanders team that's won in Tampa, won in Detroit. People didn't expect them to do that, and there's been such a belief and confidence that's been built up that they now actually think that they can go into Philadelphia and complete the Triple Crown here on the road.
And I love that because you think about it, even for Philly on the other side, Jalen Carter gets that penalty in this game, and him and Sirianni go at it on the sideline, and it becomes this big ordeal that we've seen in the past. Next thing you know, adversity hits, and this Eagles team has gone the other way. So in the same aspect that this Commanders team is different, you can look at Philly and say there's been something different about this team all season long, dealing with adversity and coming out on the other side.
This would be a colossal failure if Philly doesn't win this football game. Colossal. Number one, you have the most talented roster in all of football, okay? Number two, you have a historical run game that, and arguably rightfully so, you passed up on breaking an all-time NFL record for the greater good, the bigger goal. And you get to play this game at home. You don't have to go on the road to the 1 seed. And as amazing as Jaden has been, he's a rookie quarterback. He's a rookie quarterback, and I understand it. He's a rookie quarterback. So this will be a colossal failure to lose this game at home with the higher seed, dealing with the rookie quarterback when you have a significantly better roster.
It would be a colossal failure in the short and long term because you would be deprived of getting to this Super Bowl, and you also would be faced with the reality that the man that prevented you
ain't
from
going
getting to the
nowhere.
Super Bowl is in your division
He's gonna haunt
for the
you.
next dozen years.
100%.
So you just lost one of the best opportunities that you could ever get to go to the Super Bowl in his rookie year. And this guy, if we think this holds true, is only going to get better.
So will
and
the
better
roster.
and better.
So will the roster. And
That's right.
And I still think this matters. You passed up on the record with Saquon. And again, rightfully so, arguably the right thing to do. You passed up on the record.
For this.
To walk away from this season without either of those would be a colossal failure.
Let's go back to the injury. For the record, the Commanders were an 8.5-point underdog last week in Detroit and won. They're only a 6-point underdog here, so they have done more surprising things than this. But let's go back to the Hurts injury. In a world where the defense, the Commanders' defense, is able to sell out, the Hurts running game is not a factor.
Yeah.
They're able to bottle up Barkley to whatever degree Barkley can be bottled up. And now Jalen Hurts has to win this game throwing the football to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Harry Douglas, will he do it?
Well, just like the movie Life, you on deck. You on deck for what? To see if you can beat that rook. You cannot lose to Jaden Daniels, a rookie quarterback, if you're Jalen Hurts. I think it would put a stain in your legacy. If you lose this game and it has to be on your arm, not a good look for Jalen Hurts.
Can he do it? Well, they don't throw the ball.
I'm not confident in it because, number one, the offensive system is very vanilla. Number two, there are times when Jalen Hurts holds the football entirely too long. 16 sacks he's taken in the last 5 games. And they had 7 last week, the Rams.
I promise you the protection was not the issue more often than not.
Yes,
Oh,
holding the ball.
We know that. But when
A
it
lot
comes
of
to
times
this
fans, I
offensive
think,
system,
don't know that sacks are as much a quarterback stat as they are an offensive line stat.
100%. But what I mean about the offense is vanilla. A.J. Brown is 6'1", 225 pounds. We hardly ever see him line up at number 3 in a 3-by-1, running across the field on delta routes, on a triple seam, or lined up inside versus 1 high, 2 high, being a seam runner, being a bender versus cover 2, or going up the numbers. We never see him run option routes, and that's just devastating to me because I think you're not getting the full recipe when it comes to A.J. Brown and his skill set.
I mean, I think we would all agree. In a vacuum, A.J. Brown's one of the 5 best wide receivers in the National Football League. They've played 2 playoff games. He has 3 catches for 24 yards or something like that. I did it the other day. That doesn't feel... Well, it clearly isn't enough. Now they're winning the games, and if they win, it doesn't matter. And to his everlasting credit, as Jeff Saturday always says, he is a full participant in the blocking, in the running game and everything. He's been terrific. This is not in any way a statement about him.
So let me say this, because who was their first matchup again? I'm drawing a blank right now.
The Eagles?
The Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay Packers. He had 1 catch for 10 yards on 3 targets.
Right.
Okay, I'm still bothered by that. But in this past matchup versus the Los Angeles Rams,
You gotta make a play,
7
too.
targets and 2 catches. He had 2 drops.
Yeah.
In which the previous 14 games, shout out to Himbo again for this stat, only 1 drop. When your numbers call, you got to make the play. You can't read a book on the sideline, but then they throw you the target so you don't catch the ball.
I think
Turn the page.
I think in this game,
Do
I think they have the ability to throw the ball over the course of, let's call it, the last 2 or 3 quarters if they're forced to do it to win? I don't. Do I still believe that if they need to make 1 throw in a huge moment to get it done, they will? I still believe that Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown can do that.
We'll find out. All of this is on the way. Coming up.
How's it going, everybody? Villa Sports Network here. Just wanted to thank you guys for your support on the channel. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Also want to kind of remind you to don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment on the video if you like as well. But regardless of the fact, thank you again for your support, and hope to see you on the next video.